Hey, what's going on, everyone? Quick little opener. Let's get back to the documentary. I'll see you guys in the video. What's going on, everyone? Today is March 30th, day 50 on the carnivore diet. Absolutely amazing. Been talking about it more and more. Like I promised, we're going to get back into the documentary. Let's knock another 10 minutes out of this. Ready, set, go.
Look at our government guidelines and our dietary guidelines, but there is no high-level, credible evidence to show that saturated fat causes heart disease.
The interesting thing about Keys, he got virtually everything wrong, but it never infected his humility.
I'm absolutely sure that they weren't.
We've had a narcissistic term. People are very primitive and
That's
narcissistic.
true.
Injuries in childhood, and it has caused us to perhaps not have the most secure sense of self and identity. People attach themselves to one particular approach to diet, and it develops into an identity around which people maintain religious intensity.
Exactly.
They defend it as though any question in their dogma is like you're questioning their religious dogma or threatening the very sense of the fabric of reality. And so we start looking around for things to attach ourselves to, and political groups, religious organizations, different diet fads. We attach ourselves to these groups, and we look to the groups for our identity. So our going forward in life is somehow threatened by somebody saying, hey, maybe fat's not so bad for you. It's positively comedic, but it's becoming ridiculous. In the United States, chronic heart disease is so common that you have all you have to do to study the complete natural history of the disease is to take a sample of men, any sample of men that are now healthy, follow them, wait a little while, and a lot of them will have coronary heart disease. But it wasn't very long before it appeared that there was some connection between coronary.
Okay, so a couple things into that. So it's completely true. I mean, you can see it from a lot of people that, get into these huge fad diets or a big example would be some of those crazy beginning yoga groups. I mean, like some of them, don't get me wrong, yoga is a great exercise. It's a great way to stretch your body. I mean, there's DDP yoga, there's hot yoga. My sister is actually licensed as a yoga instructor, has been doing it for years. It helped her after a car accident. But there's some people that get way too identified by yoga, and it kind of sucks because I see people using in that new documentary, Tiger King, the gentleman doctor. He's pretty much stealing some of the identities from Indian culture, and then is projecting them in a horrible way. I mean, if you've seen the documentary, that guy's definitely running a sex cult. I mean, the one interview they do with one of his previous girlfriends, wives, recruiters, employees. I mean, she was forced to get breast implants. I mean, she had horrible living situations. But if you're pretty friendly to the head guy, looks like you'll be moving up the ranks. I mean, just a little cultish there. I mean, everybody didn't even care about how he took care of the animals. They wanted to know how he kept all of those women in line, and that's cultish. That's a cult-like thing. Getting paid, you can leave whenever you want. You're free to go whenever you want, but you won't know your identity, who you are, any friends. You won't have any contacts here. You won't know where to go. I mean, God forbid, like Joe Exotic, like some of the people he just picks up from prison, and don't get me wrong, like people that get out, they need work, they need a place to live and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're just taking them in to abuse them, I mean, God, they might be better off in prison, at least there they know that, they're going to get the meals without some weird form of enslavement, it's it's horrible, and it comes back to dieting because, I mean, all humans, we all try to figure out paths. So when it comes to any kind of diet, if it's really working and you start to build friends and you start to build relationships, and then it's you were wrong, it's almost like changing your identity. You went from something that defined you to you being wrong. And none of us want to be wrong. I mean, like, none of us want to be wrong, but if it finds out that you're wrong, but you're just too stubborn to change, is it really worth something to die over? Is it really something to watch other people die over? I mean, I know nowadays there's, God, like a new YouTuber that used to be vegan coming out every day saying, yeah, I can't do it anymore, guys. Like, I can't. My health is completely compromised. And of course, there's the couple vegan channels that are just ungodly hateful towards anybody for any reason. And you don't always see what they're eating. Like, you don't always see what they're doing. You don't know what kind of supplements they're taking, what kind of vitamins they're taking. And like some of the real ones I think that really believed it, that went true raw. They started doing vegan, or so they first started doing vegetable, like what is it, vegetarian, then they went vegan, then they went raw vegan, whatever that is. And then eventually your body just kind of like, nah, I give up. I can't do this anymore. So I mean, look at me now. I mean, I'm on the carnivore diet, and like I'm trying not to let it define me, because I want to keep reading other studies, and I want to keep doing research, and I want to keep an open mind. If somewhere down the line there's actual proof, real proof that you know eating so much meat is horrible for or God, if they come out and say exercise is horrible for you, I'll be open minded. I'll read it. I'll figure it out. I'll go from there. But right now, there's a lot of positives I'm having. And I know a lot of people say that when they do veganism, that's because you go from all American diet and now you're doing a different diet. So like your body's like, oh God, it's like shaking off all that excess crap. So you're gonna feel great. You're gonna feel amazing, and I get that. So that's why I want to do this for a year. If at the end of the year I'm still not completely satisfied, with maybe my health goals or my physical goals or my mental goals, then I'll try something else. I'll start maybe adding vegetables back into my diet. Um, Speaking of a quick side note, research, Harvard right now is actually doing a huge study on anybody that's been carnivore or majority or major carnivore, like majority of carnivore, for at least 6 months or beyond. They're doing a big study right now. Go to meatrx.com if you want to sign up for that at Harvard. Oh man, I wish I could be a part of that. That'd be so much fun. But yeah, like it's just something to try. And I am from this, and then going further, I do believe you should have fat in your diet. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense. I mean, just as like cavemen or when we're growing up, it just doesn't make any sense for like our ancestors to just be, like, oh, can I eat that? Nope, Frank died. Can't eat that. But I can kill that and eat that, and I'll be completely fine. Like I feel like, I mean, a lot of people don't want to think about us, a couple 100,000 years ago as literal try and error people. But I mean, we're still doing it now. I mean, why do you think those warning labels are on some of the stupidest stuff? It's because some moron did it. They put it up somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. They inhaled something they weren't supposed. They did it because it's almost ingrained in us to be trial and error. I mean, it's just something that we do as humans. All right, let's get back to the documentary.
Carnivore cholesterol in the blood. No question. We hear over and over and over again that cholesterol equals mortality. We've seen it in the commercials.
Questions, margarine. It's the only leading margarine made from 100% corn oil. It has no cholesterol.
We've heard about it from our doctor.
Over time, they build up on the walls of veins and arteries, helping to clog them, restricting blood flow. It's what causes heart attacks and strokes.
Yeah, see, if that was true, I should have been dead. A lot of people should have been dead a while ago.
We tend to think it's just simply the truth. It certainly has the degree of repetition that we would expect. In the 60s and 70s, we were focusing more on the specific types of cholesterol, LDL and HDL. And LDL became known as the bad cholesterol. All of a sudden, medicine was focused on LDL.
It was noticed that higher cholesterol in the blood appeared to correlate
Ivor Cummins
with higher heart disease rates. Cholesterol is carried in the blood by or LDL.
LDL, protein and fat.
The more the number of LDL, that's dangerous.
So essentially the idea was developed that the higher cholesterol was getting into your arteries and was causing arterial disease. So the higher that lipoprotein level goes, the greater the risk of heart disease. There are some studies that show a correlation. Does that mean causation? And this is a very important
correlation versus causation.
Too infrequently made. Because something is correlated doesn't mean it is the cause. So if high cholesterol is present in people who are having heart disease, we have to look a little further as to why that is and if there are other factors. When you really look at the studies and you crunch the data, LDL is not the best marker for heart disease. What's even more powerful are your ratios. So whether it's your total cholesterol to HDL ratio or your triglyceride ratio, those have better predictive values than LDL itself. The ratio indicates your level of insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance. So the best cholesterol measures are not actually even talking about a cholesterol thing. They're indirectly talking about insulin resistance and health.
A lot of the fat.
Insulin resistance.
Look, we saw fat in the coronary arteries, and we thought that fat must be coming from somewhere. It must come from circulating fat, and that must come from ingested fat. It was a very simplistic kind of idea.
The contrary opinion, the alternative hypothesis, which has been around for a couple hundred years, is that we get fat because we eat carbohydrates like pasta, potatoes, bread. They used to be called simple carbohydrates. Now the terminology is changing to adjust to the fact that a lot of people think maybe these starches, as my mother called them, are not quite so good for us. We focused in just on timing and bad luck on this idea that saturated fat causes heart disease. And we bought into it even though the evidence ultimately didn't really support it. And we made everything else we believed about diet have to be reconciled with that.
John Uston versus Alyssa Keys.
A major factor in coronary disease is by no means accepted by all investigators.
In front of us, day by day, are
John Yatkin.
more and more very tempting foods.
Yatkin.
In the mid-1960s, John Yatkin comes on the scene. He's a British scientist. He thinks sugar's a problem.
Sugar.
People have heart disease. They don't just have elevated cholesterol. In fact, they often don't have elevated cholesterol. They have a whole cluster of metabolic abnormalities. 10, 15, 20 things you can measure. And Yatkin was saying if I feed animals sugar or I feed college students, and I'm using my experience, sugar, I can cause pretty much all of these things just by giving them a lot of sugar. See, I have to say 200 or 300 years ago, the average consumption of sugar in this country is about 4 pounds a year.
4 pounds a year.
We're very happy if everybody
4 pounds a
has
year.
sugar a year. They eat 100 pounds.
100 pounds a year. So right there, compensation study of the diet of 41 nations have convinced Professor Yatkin that there is an almost exceeded relation between the consumption of fat and sugar. Fat and sugar make a problem. Like I've always been saying, everybody, sugar is a problem. Nowadays, obviously it has its place, but if you really think about it, how much sugar do you actually need in a day? How much? Read the labels. Please read the labels. If you think about sugar consumption, maybe a birthday once a month, maybe just your birthday, or maybe a congratulations, or like the old days on Halloween, that was once a year. That was the whole exciting thing was I get to have candy. Now it's like, everyone's got candy. You just eat it to eat it. Come on. Read the labels. Stop with the sugar. We're going to stop there because I'm pushing about 15 minutes right now. But in with that. Stop the sugar. Stop. Just stop with the sugar. If anything you do, take sugar completely out of your diet. I don't even care what diet you want to do. Take sugar completely out of it. All of it. All the sugar. Take it out. With that, also I want to end. I hope everybody's keeping safe out there. I mean, I keep getting news updates, God, every hour on the hour, especially in the state of Florida. So please, if anybody's in New York watching this, pray for you. I mean, I really hope that everybody turns out okay up there. Stay safe, stay healthy. You know, I mean, I hope that they send help soon. If anybody is watching and they can help, please help them. You know, I wish I knew of a way I could. You know, I wish that I had that, big a platform where, I had thousands or hundreds or millions of, viewers and stuff where I could, do some kind of charity or, try to get the word out. I'll try to figure out small ways here. Maybe I can send them something, but, you know, I hope. I just really hope. But like I always say, everybody, if I can do this, anybody can do this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.